In 1877, Wallace Wilkerson was tried and convicted of murder in the Utah Territories. Though he professed his innocence, Wilkerson chose to die by firing squad rather than being hanged or decapitated. Wilkerson's appeal went all the way to the Supreme Court, which ruled in Wilkerson versus Utah that death by firing squad is not cruel and unusual punishment. And so, on his execution day in 1879, Wallace Wilkerson was led out to a jail yard soon after his sentence had been affirmed. He could see the guns pointing his way, having declined a blindfold. When the shots were fired, they failed to kill him, hitting him in the arm, the abdomen instead. As the New York Times described the scene a century later, "My God," Wilkerson shrieked, "my God, they have missed." More than 27 minutes passed as Wilkerson bled to death in front of astonished witnesses and a helpless doctor. People were horrified, but not so horrified that America stopped executing people. Something North Americans have done since Captain George Kendall was put to death for allegedly spying for Spain in 1608. And back then, execution was allowed for such crimes as stealing grapes, killing chickens, and trading with Indians. We've hung on to execution long after most other first world countries, including all of Europe, have stopped doing it. Though what we have done is to continually search for ways to make putting people to death more palatable to the public. That's meant changing the crimes that are subject to the death penalty and taking executions inside correctional facilities and out of the public view, and searching for ways to make the actual process less grisly. When the governor of New York was looking for a more efficient means of executing people, a dentist named Dr. Alfred P. Southwick stepped forward with an invention he came up with after watching a drunk man die after touching a live generator. Finding the right current to power Southwick's electric chair pitted two famous inventors, Thomas Edison and George Westinghouse, against each other. And Edison, who actually opposed the death penalty, helpfully recommended using Westinghouse's alternating current, or AC, to get the job done. The state called the process electricide. Edison helpfully called it Westinghousing. One of the first to be selected to use the new means of death was convicted killer William Kemmler. He was strapped into the chair on August 6, 1890. After 17 seconds and 1,000 votes, Kemmler was convulsing and foaming at the mouth, and smoke was rising from his body, but he wasn't dead. 2,000 votes later, he finally died. The New York Times called it an awful spectacle, far worse than hanging. But that didn't stop the death penalty either. Nor did the electrocution of the Rosenbergs or the notorious stories about Florida's old Sparky. We're now back to questioning the means of execution. Now it's lethal injection. But we're still not debating the bigger question, whether, as unsympathetic as those subject to execution can be, we want to be in this gruesome business at all.